A very good morning, everybody, or good afternoon or good evening, depending on when you are hearing or watching this conversation. This is Shubato Haldar. I am part of a today I'm a small part of a small HR and business consulting organization. We call ourselves MCHC. We bring to the table our expertise in HR and business consulting space. As part of our Industry Connect, we are running this YouTube channel, and we planned to, as part of a series, interact with certain senior industry experts, industry stalwarts, and take their perspective on various aspects of the industry, particularly now in the post-pandemic or current pandemic and post-pandemic scenario, both India and abroad. Happy to introduce Mr. Shankho Chaudhary, who you see in the screen. Shankho Chaudhary is somebody I've had the opportunity and the privilege to not only know personally, but having worked with each other for quite a long while in different industries. Shankho brings to the table more than 3 decades of rich industry exposure and experience, having led large businesses, both in India and abroad. Many of you, I'm sure, would know him as a professional colleague, even one-to-one, and some might not, may or may not. But trust me, he brings to the table a lot of quality experience. Happy to have Shankho, you today with us for the next 10 minutes. Thanks for giving us this time. And
thank you very much for having me. And yes, greetings of the day, whatever part of the day, wherever it is.
Yeah. Yeah. And Shankho, if I may say, so this conversation, I don't know whether that will kind of, in a brief conversation like this, whether it will come out, but has this very typical dry sense of wit and humor. I don't know how much of that would be in display today, but you never know. So, Shankho, let's start. Let's deep dive into it. For those who are watching this, basically what we are trying to converse on, discuss on, talk about is particularly now is this amazing reality check that you have had across the globe called pandemic and COVID. I just wanted to pause and press the pause button, step back and understand what exactly could be the scenario therefore in business and in corporate world, not only in India but beyond. Shankho, I wanted your take on, you see, there's been a time for almost maybe a decade, if I'm not wrong, that there is this huge fourth phase of industrial technology revolution that's happening, which is digitization. We have AI, we have robotics, we have 3D printing and so on and so forth going on. None of that is science fiction. It's pretty much here and now. It's reality already. Applications are already in place, etc. And more will happen. So because of that, Industry Revolution 4, and over and above that, now we have this unknown, unheard of reality called COVID. How do you see, in your wisdom and experience, the industry, corporate landscape, ecosystem metamorphing, changing, in your view?
I actually have a contrarian view, I think, compared to everybody else. Okay. I think the general view that I have picked up in my conversations with colleagues and friends is that COVID has set us back. I think that yes, perhaps if I count turnover, it may have set us back for this year. But in the long run, COVID may actually have brought in some help too. It actually, I think, has accelerated usage of technology in some way. For instance, in my organization, today we always knew this, but we were too lazy to use video conferencing to have meetings and close discussions and take decisions on VC. Okay, but today we by default are doing that, and doing that sometimes even in different floors of our office, which is a 7th floor office, and we are happily being able to accomplish as much, if not more, faster, quicker, better than earlier. So I think actually, if I look at the technology of video conferencing, it has made and it will continue to make a quantum jump, and much more things will start happening over video, which will actually help time, money, and probably speed things up a lot. So yes, to me, COVID in that sense has been actually good for the long term, not for the short term, but for the long term in terms of the way we run our businesses together. I recently hired somebody pretty senior, and we did that entirely consciously. We did that entirely on video, and It's worked out quite well. There has been no problem really. I'm not saying that video will replace our lives, but I'm saying that there's much more we can do. It's similar probably to writing memos versus writing mails that we saw 20 years ago. So perhaps it's a similar kind of an analogy. So that's my thought process first off my hat in terms of the COVID impact.
Shankar, so since you mentioned that, let me just take a pointer out of that. You mentioned the fact that there would be more use of technology, and you gave one example of that where you are talking about VC/video interface rather than a face-to-face because compulsions are there, and that is actually yielding better, if not quicker results. Now, including you just give an example of hiring that happened at a pretty senior level. Would you think this is also critical that industry professionals like us, all of us across the spectrum, must also therefore align to it more in our mind, because technology is here to stay, COVID or no COVID. Only the pace might have got hastened, I don't know, because of COVID. But do you think it is also a challenge from an HR perspective to help mind shift, or it will automatically happen because compulsions are there?
No. Yes, probably it will automatically happen, but I don't think you should wait for it to automatically happen. You should actually take a bit of a lead on this, because you may try to, in that process, become a pioneer and thereby make a name for yourself. What you should perhaps look at, and while I mentioned about one interview or while I mentioned about some meetings that we are happening, I think the companies now need to quickly understand that what are the kind of work that really does not require too much of interaction with the people.
Okay.
If I can do that, why do we need them to come to office? I'll give you a small example.
Sure,
I have
please.
a friend, and it's a very small example, but it's, I think, a very interesting example. I have a friend, unlike you all, run a very small HR organization where they primarily do hiring. Okay. So I would tend to believe that they had about 12 to 14 odd people doing this activity out of a place somewhere in South Calcutta. Okay. So when COVID came, everything stopped, and now they are trying to do some work on VC, etc., and figuring out how to do and what to do. They actually came to me and asked me, saying that, you've been an industry professional, so can you help us in terms of, I consult with them as a friend, free of cost, of course, and I try to help them out as much as possible. And I obviously do not do business with them because I think that's unfair. So I gave them an idea, and they have implemented that idea, and that's working out so well that they will now continue to do this, which is I asked them to reduce their office size to 1/3 in terms
Okay.
of sheer size. Their costs came down to also 1/3, or actually a little less than 1/3. And only the two or three key people of the organization now come to the office. Okay. And everybody else actually works out of their home on a desktop, because they suddenly realize that all that they were doing could be easily done by this guy not traveling. Okay. And they have managed, actually, because they are not traveling, they have a very nice homogeneous atmosphere in their organization. They've actually managed to reduce salaries of people, because there's a cost to come to office, there's a cost to go back, and there's a cost to just be at office.
Absolutely.
So they have managed to actually bring that cost down for the employees. Employees are happy because a lot of people today, as you know, don't really come from the center of the city but from far away.
Traveling is
So
a challenge now, even now. Correct.
yeah, that's right. So they are very happy to work from home. They have very happily accepted the little reduction in the salary. These people have happily been able to save much more money by reducing the office cost. And now their office comprises of basically 3 rooms. One room is where the people go and sit, the key people go and sit, and not every day, whenever they need to. And there are 2 other meeting rooms that they have, which they need to do for physical interactions with people who come in. So this model they have started about 1.5, 2 months ago, and they are actually saying that this is the model that they will continue with, whether there is COVID, whether there is not COVID, and actually they think that it might help them much more in terms of financially than what they were earlier doing. Earlier they were doing certain things which was being done without thinking, because it was supposed to be done that way. Now they are actually doing that. Yes, investments in technology has gone up a little bit more, but which they think they will recover very, very easily. And they are beginning to now get newer businesses. They are beginning to close the older businesses. They are beginning to have meetings with clients on video conference, and a lot of their problems are getting resolved. So they are very happy with what I am happy that I could give them an idea which worked for them. So this is a small example, but this is how I think the bigger examples need to be also thought through and made up. Do we always need to do the business that the way we were doing? For instance, this meeting that we are having, maybe 2 years ago, 3 years ago, you and I would keep trying to meet somewhere. I would not have the time. You would not have the time. Such
So
things would
true.
keep on happening.
So true.
Such things would keep on happening, and the meeting may have never happened or happened probably 3 months later. Okay, but instead of that, before I go out somewhere at 12 o'clock, I'm quickly having a chat with you and finishing off this, this discussion. So I think the pace of the industry will improve, and improving of pace of the industry is a sign of overall higher productivity. So that's why photocopying help. That's why computers help. That's why scanning help. That's why emailing help. So this is going to do exactly the same.
Lovely. I think a lot of important points you made, and I think essentially what I also was talking about elsewhere in a different forum like this, where I was talking, and I said that as it is seen, the new age is about the 3 V's. It's about the velocity, it's about the volume, and it's about the variety, and that's how data and therefore speed of the industry shall change. And so true that you are saying. But now that you have said it towards the last few minutes before we have to rush out, Shankar, you mentioned essentially work from home as an advisory support that you have given, which kind of fetched them obvious reasons, productivity increments. Now, both in terms of money and manpower. Now, when you look at work from home as an area of change, as a domain of change that's happening, whether by compulsion or otherwise, how do you see, therefore, somebody like us who are into a consulting training space, we from MCHC, how do you think we should relook at our portfolio? How should we divide and support that we had been doing earlier? Was largely, as you rightly said, any support that we did, any consulting training assignments were more face-to-face, were assumed to be by default as a platform or to be face-to-face. You made a very important point to work from home. So how do you see us having to change?
I am nobody to give you advice. But
no,
in case
I seriously mean that.
In case I was in your place,
correct,
what I would do is I would actually not anymore go and find people for companies. Okay, what I would want to do is to go to a company and engage on HR in a very different way. I would tell them, like, can I help you in finding out who are the people you need? In this case, not need and not mean, therefore not reducing people, but who are the people you need in office and who are the people you don't need in office? Okay.
Right.
Are there people in the system who can work from home and do most of the things? Okay. Are there people in your system who can come only once a week or twice a week and then work from home the rest of the time? So if you can make this division for them and then actually tell them, we will find you people who are very good at working from home. See, this is an interesting thing that come up. There are some people who are not designed to work very well from home. There are some people who are designed to work very well from home. So can you come up with an idea where you say that I will divide your maybe 20% or 30% of the people don't really need to come to the office, and another 10% needs to come only twice a week. And if I can do this from you, I can renegotiate the costs for them and they can work from home for you. You need less space and you can probably leave half a floor or one floor and save costs there. So I think that's the kind of activity that you should be focusing on. So it's no more the job, but it's the how you can do that job. That's going to be very, very critical.
From the what to the how. That's, I think, the journey you're talking about.
That's the journey I'm talking about. And you should also now quickly make yourselves experts on how do you work from home. A lot of people actually don't know how to work from home.
You're talking about the skill part of it.
Yeah, one is the psychological makeup. Okay. Can you help them to do that? The second is the physical makeup. A lot of people actually have disadvantages in their homes to have a work from home situation for 8 hours. They may have lack of space. They may have different kinds of problems. So how can you sort that out? Can you give them a small 3 feet by 4 feet square feet of area, which from inside looks like an office, but is actually a partition that can be even removed in the evening when guests come home. So these are the kind of things I think you should start looking at, because this is how the new business will be, and I hope it is, because there's no requirement for so many people traveling unless the petroleum companies continue to do well. So there's no requirement of this kind of traveling.
No, very, very interesting insights. And before we conclude, Shankar, one last, I think because we are running into your boundary time of you have to move out at 12, you mentioned. So just one concluding point, observation, question, which is, therefore, I think you're talking about an important shift. Now, to understand this better, are you therefore saying by default that any consulting training, one is advisory support on the area that you mentioned, and within that you mentioned about how to skill, both in terms of how to skill up these people who shall therefore be working from home more than before, both in their mental makeup areas and their actual skill set areas. Could be use of technology also, etc. But the other would be about if the organization as a whole, if you tomorrow you are heading a large business even today, a lot of manpower spread across a large geography like India. So are you seeing this happening? Therefore, by extension, I logically understand this would be something that has to be applicable across your branch offices, if you have a branch office or whoever, spread across a large geography. So it has to be implemented not only at a HO level, but across the branches in the country for any business like yours or other such business. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, but with a little bit of difference.
Okay.
The branches that we run are primarily the physical outlets of the company in different locations.
That's
so
right.
In branch, actually, as a company, more from the point of costs, we have ensured that we don't have too many people who really need to. So this, what I was telling you, is more an head office situation than a branch situation. But I would tend to believe that there are companies who have branches which are pretty heavy and does not require everybody to come into work.
Maybe one such example could be our mutual industry prior to where you are now. The earlier industry we had. We have been working
right. So I'm also asking you all to get into, other than the physical infrastructure support, the psychological support, and also the software support. I have been doing a little bit of research, and I realize that there are already existing free softwares, and if you pay price, it's even better, which allows you to cohesively work together, even if you are sitting in different parts of the world.
That's right.
So it's very interesting that you actually can work on work on ideas, input things, change things, etc. And you all should work on this kind of area. And if there is none which is very good, you all can actually come up with a software which actually helps you to work from home, but as well as being there. I'll give you a small example. Sorry for, I'm elderly now, so I tend to give a lot of stories to people.
I'm no kid either, so it's okay.
I have an organization, I have an NGO that I founded 10 years ago,
right.
which looks after my school, ex-teachers of my school, okay, who are not in a good financial situation, primarily. So we categorize them into not good financial situation, not good medical situation, and not good in terms of psychological situation, right? And we try to help them as much as possible. There are nearly 150 people that we are looking after. 10 years ago, and this was being done by people who are all having jobs of their own. They have their own jobs they are doing in the daytime. So we decided that we need to have a system by which we can keep in touch and know exactly what is happening. Right. Emailing was not an option, because how many emails will you send each other? Where will that be reposited? And WhatsApp was not there, and so on and so forth. So we actually came up with a concept which already existed at that time. It's called a forum. So a forum is a software where you actually can go and start writing numerous things. For instance, you are one of the teachers I look after, okay? And we used to have what we call PCGs, which is primary caregivers. So out of the, each one of us had 5 or 7 or 10 teachers that we specifically looked after. So supposing I am your PCG, which is a primary caregiver, I would go to that forum. It's like a notice board kind of a thing. And I would put Sugato Haldar on the top. And then I would actually have a brief history. This is, by the way, not public, so this is private. So I can have a brief history about who you are, what your problems currently are, what is the kind of help you need, what is your financial situation. There's a brief history. Then I actually start writing down every time I have visited to you. I write down what conversation I have had, what were the problems, etc., etc. So if I am not available, or if somebody else is taking you over, it is seamless. He or she can come in and actually. So these are things that we don't even do in offices today. We can use a forum kind of a concept for many ideas. I want to start up a particular kind of a project. I can use the forum very easily, but we don't do it. And there are many such options available today. There's a program called Trello I was looking at, which actually allows you to, interact with many people on projects. There are many such project availability, and I think that's an area you guys should get into if it's possible.
Lovely, wonderful, Shankar. I know it's been a very brief conversation, hardly enough lot to talk about, but I know there is a time constraint you have. So thank you very much. It was a very, I know, dipstick at best, and each topic could have been brought into in much greater detail. Let me conclude today, but just by saying that this was only a beginning. Shankar, soon, hopefully, if time and opportunity permits, I would love to have a more detailed conversation on one or some of these topics on a mutually agreed date and time. So let's hope we shall meet again soon for this kind of a conversation, and yes, on a virtual platform. Thank you very much for being here, and time being a constraint, I have to conclude today. But I'm sorry, sir.
No problem. Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure to talk to you as always.
My pleasure, Shankar, and all the best, and we'll soon connect.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye, sir.